Hello students, welcome to Biobin channel. Today we are going to discuss about chapter number 3, human reproduction. And in this section, as you have studied already, the reproduction basic principles, what are the events, what are the phases which are present in the reproduction. So human beings are sexual reproducing organisms and they give birth to young ones. So they are viviparous. And there are several steps which are present in the human reproduction. The first step is the formation of gametes, the formation of male gamete and female gamete. It's called as gametogenesis. And after the production of the gametes, there will be the transfer of male gamete into the female genital tract, and it is called as insemination. Then, when the male gamete reaches the female gamete, there is fusion of male and female gamete to form zygote. It is called as fertilization. After the fertilization, the zygote undergoes repeated division and forms embryo. And the process of formation of embryo, where the attachment of the blastocyst to the wall of the uterus takes place, and it is called as implantation. After implantation, the development of embryo starts, and it's called as gestation. And there is the birth of the child, delivery of the baby. It is called as parturition. So these are the basic steps of human reproduction. And all these events has to take place after the organism or the human beings attain maturity. That's called puberty. So there is a difference between puberty in the male and female. In the male, the production of the male gametes continues from the maturity to the old age. But in the female, the egg production ceases in the woman around 50 years of age. And let us study now the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. The male reproductive system is located in the pelvic region of the male, and this consists of a pair of testes and accessory ducts, accessory glands, as well as external genitalia. Let us discuss one by one. First, let us start with a pair of testes. Testes is 2 in number. They are oval in shape. They are present inside a cavity called scrotum, and they are present outside the body. And this cavity, which is called scrotum, helps to maintain the temperature 2 to 2.5 degree less than the body temperature, because spermatogenesis takes place in that temperature. So for that reason, it requires body temperature. When compared, it should be each testis measures about 4 to 5 centimeter in the length and 2 to 3 centimeter in the width. And each testis consists of around 250 compartments called as testicular lobules. And these testicular lobules are lined by 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. And these seminiferous tubules are made up of 2 types of cells. One is called as male germ cell and the other is called as Sertoli cells. And the male germ cells are also known as spermatogonia. And the male germ cells, when they undergo meiotic division, they produce sperms. And the Sertoli cells nourishes the male developing gametes. That is nothing but the germ cells. And the regions outside these testicular lobules, you can find interstitious spaces which contain small blood vessels as well as some interstitial cells, which we call them as Leydig cells. And these Leydig cells, which are present in between the testicular lobules, helps in secreting testicular hormones as well as other immunologically competent cells. And these testicular hormones are commonly called as androgens. Now we come to the discussion of male accessory ducts. The male accessory ducts includes rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis as well as vas deferens. Retrotestis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas deferens. These are called as accessory ducts. The seminiferous tubules of the testis open into the vasa efferentia via retrotestis. The vasa efferentia continues to form epididymis, which is located along the posterior part of the testis. This epididymis continues to form vas deferens. This vas deferens ascends the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. The vas deferens loops around the urinary bladder and receives a duct from seminal vesicle and then passes through urethra as an ejaculatory duct. All these duct stores and transport the sperms from the testis to outside the urethra. The urethra originates from the urinary bladder and then extends towards the penis and have an external opening called urethral meatus. So now we come to the external genitalia. The male external genitalia is commonly called as penis, and it has a specialized tissues which helps in erection of the penis and helps in insemination. And the enlarged end of the penis is called as glans penis, which is covered by a loose fold of skin called foreskin. So the male accessory glands are seminal vesicles, prostate glands and bulbourethral glands. These three are male accessory glands. Secretions of bulbourethral glands also helps in the lubricating of the penis during reproduction. So the total secretions of seminal vesicle, prostate gland and bulbourethral gland is commonly called as seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium as well as certain enzymes. The female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries along with a pair of oviducts, uterus, cervix, vagina as well as external genitalia. These are all located in the pelvic region of the female body, and these parts of the system along with a pair of mammary glands, they form integrated structurally and functionally support ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth and childcare. So let us go one by one. Ovaries. A pair of ovaries are located in the pelvic region of the female body. They are the sex organs of the female body which produces a female gamete called ovum, as well as they also help in producing some of the ovarian hormones, which are also called steroid hormones. These ovaries are two in number, located one on the either side of the abdomen, which measures about 2 to 4 centimeter in length, and they are present connected to the pelvic wall as well as uterus by ligaments, and each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium which is enclosing a ovarian stroma, and the stroma is divided in two parts. One is peripheral cortex, other one is the inner medulla. The oviduct is also called as fallopian tube, and here the fallopian tube as well as uterus and then vagina, this constitute the female accessory ducts. So now let us come to fallopian tube first. It is 10 to 12 centimeter long and extends from the ovary and reaches up to the uterus, and the part closer to the ovary is funnel shaped, and this funnel shaped structure is called infundibulum, and the edges of the infundibulum are having a finger-like projections called fimbriae. It helps in collection of the ovum after ovulation. The infundibulum reaches to the wider part called ampulla. And the last part of the oviduct is called isthmus, which has a connection to the uterus, and it's having a narrow lumen and it joins to the uterus. And now we come to the uterus. Uterus is also called as the womb of the mother. It's a inverted pear-shaped structure which is supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. The uterus opens into the vagina through a narrow cavity called cervix, and the canal is called cervical canal, and cervical canal with vagina, it is called as birth canal. So the wall of the uterus is made up of 3 layers of tissue. So you can see this: perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. The thin membranous structure is called perimetrium, and the middle layer, which is thick, made up of smooth muscles, is called as myometrium, and the inner glandular layer is called as endometrium. The endometrium undergoes cyclical changes during the reproduction, and this is called as menstrual cycle, while the myometrium exhibits strong contraction during childbirth, which helps in the delivery of the baby. Now we come to external genitalia of the female reproductive system. The external genitalia consist of mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen and clitoris. First we will discuss about mons pubis. Mons pubis is a cushion of fatty tissue covered by skin and pubic hairs. The next is labia majora. The labia majora are fleshy folds of tissue which extend down from the mons pubis and surround the vaginal opening. Labia minora. Labia minora are paired folds of tissue which lies under the labia majora. Next, hymen. The opening of the vagina is often covered by partially a membrane which is called as hymen. And the last is clitoris. It's a tiny finger-like structure which lies at the upper junction of the 2 labia minora above the urethral opening. So now we will discuss about mammary glands. A functional mammary gland is a characteristic feature of mammals. The mammary glands are 2 in number. They are also called breast, and they contain an enormous amount of glandular tissue with a fat. The glandular tissue of each breast is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes, which contain a cluster of cells called alveoli, and this alveoli secretes milk which is stored in the lumens of alveoli. And further, the alveoli open into the mammary tubules, and from the mammary tubules the different mammary tubules join together to form mammary duct, and further the mammary ducts open into a larger, wider space called ampulla, which is connected to the lactiferous duct from where milk is sucked out. This is about the mammary gland of the female body.